Hi there my friends, this is Benjamin here from saybuy9to5.com and welcome back again to this video training. Now in today's video I'm going to share with you guys, based on a lot of comments from my subscribers, on how do I actually create a custom domain email, and as well as, let's say if I have multiple sites with multiple custom domain emails, how do I actually forward them to one email? Alright, so as you can see on the screen, the one that I use is actually called Bluehost. Okay, as for why I use Bluehost, no specific reasons. It's just something that I've been using since day one when I conduct my affiliate marketing business. And so far, it has never given me any much headache, and the support is splendid. There's no need to wait for any tickets. If you have any concerns, just hit the help button. You can immediately chat with their live support agent. Okay. Now I will leave the first link in the description box below this video if you are interested to register with Bluehost. But nevertheless, let's get started on our training today. Okay, once you log into bluehost.com, of course the first thing that you do is to hit the get started button. Now over here you can see all different plans here. Now don't be misled by all these per month costs, because when it comes to actually with Bluehost, you have to decide whether you're going for a 12-month, 24-month or 36-month plan. Now, let's say for example, you have only you're only interested to set up one website, okay, just one website. So the basic plan is actually very sufficient for you. However, if you have the intention to actually set up multiple websites, like for example, for my case, I have a website when it comes to affiliate marketing business, and I have a separate website for my webinars that are running. So meaning to say I'm currently owning two different websites. All right. So instead of purchasing two different basic plans, which will add up to almost $8 per month, I actually go for this particular plus plan. Okay, now let's say for the benefit of most of you guys who are just intending to set up one website. Okay, so you hit the select button over here. Now immediately you will bring you to this particular page whereby you can actually choose your own domain name. Now bearing in mind that with Bluehost, for every plan that you choose, the first year registration for your domain is actually free. Meaning to say it's already included into the price. Okay, so there's no need for you to go to places like GoDaddy, Namecheap to actually register another new domain name and then import the domain name over here. Okay, so make full use of the free first year domain name registration. Now you might be wondering, so Ben, how do I actually come up with my own domain name? Now the easiest way to do so is to use your name. Okay, so let's say for example, for my case, if I go for benjamingo.com, so then I hit the next button and I will see whether this particular domain name is available. Okay, now unfortunately, the domain name for benjamingo.com is not available for registration, as you can see over here. So what does this actually mean? That means to say someone has already registered this domain name. Alright, so I cannot register it again. Now think of domain name as something like address to your property. Alright, so of course you cannot have two similar addresses leading to different properties, right? Alright, so what we need to do now is they have given me some suggestions over here, like benjamingo.org, benjamingolaw.com, jamiego.net, drbenjamingo.com. I don't have a doctorate here. I don't know why they put out here also. Okay, now let me just put my initials into it as well, and let's take a look at whether it's available. Okay, so now it's benjamingojk.com. Okay, now the next question that a lot of people ask me is, do I really need a .com extension, or can I use a .net, .org? My personal preference is I always go for .com. Okay, because this is the most common URL extension that everyone knows. Okay, and in a way it creates a form of legitimacy on your website as well. Alright, so this domain name is actually available. Okay, so good. The next thing of course you need to do is to input your first name, last name, business name, which is optional, the country, your addresses, so on and so forth. Now make sure that you are actually going to put in all the correct information here. Please don't use any pen name or whatever. Alright, and this email address is very, very important, because subsequently when you actually register with Bluehost, they will ask you for a suggested user ID and password, and they will actually send a notification email to this email, the address that you put over here. Alright, so if you have multiple email addresses, my suggestion is just use the one that you commonly use. Okay, now next is also whenever you are approaching support for help, they will actually need a validation token from you that they will send to your email addresses that you registered with Bluehost. Alright, so now you can see how important these email addresses is. Now, As you can see over here, the package information that we have chosen for one site, which is one website, is $395 per month. So basic 36-month plan is at $142.20. Now let's take a look. Let's say if you were to choose for 12 months or 24 months, hoping to actually save some cost, and what will happen. Now once I click on this down arrow button, as you can see, if I go for the 12-month plan, it will be $595 per month. So if I click on it, it's about $71.40. But if I go for the 36-month plan, it's $142.2. So effectively, I'm like paying double, but I get triple the time period, right, guys? So in my personal opinion, I think this is actually the best deal here. Now there's actually a particular hack that I'll show you guys, which is if you are actually going into Bluehost for the first time, you can actually try to move your mouse and try to exit Bluehost. All right. Sometimes they will have a pop-up box that shows a certain discount that you can actually use on it. Okay. Now next is coming to all these particular pre-selected package. My suggestion is just uncheck everything. Actually, you don't need all these things. Okay. Yeah, I'm connect with blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I really don't mind. Just turn it off. And this one. All right. So now the price, as you can see, 142.2 is the same as over here. Now, last but not least, of course, is to make the payment to start registering with your Bluehost account. And after you have made a payment and it has been successful, the next step is they will actually bring you to the registration page of your user ID and password. Okay, now, bearing in mind the terms and conditions, it is on the auto renewal terms. All right, so all plans and products are automatically renewed unless you were to cancel. But if you are talking about renewal, well, what happens is for the first year registration for the domain name, yes, they will auto renew on your credit card. But generally, the first year registration for domain name is nothing more than $10-15 per year. All right, the main concern that you should have is actually the hosting plan, which is this 142.2, right? So this one will only start auto renewing like 3 years later, right? So actually, when you set up a website within a maximum of 3 to 6 months, you should already start getting some income, unless you are just leaving it idle. Okay, guys. Now, so to actually recover this 142.2 is nothing, honestly. Okay, now once you've actually set up the entire website, you'll be greeted with this particular dashboard. This is my dashboard. As you can see over here, this is my domain name, say by 925. So how do you actually start registering for emails, custom domain emails? Now, what I mean by custom domain emails is, instead of using the generic Gmail, Yahoo Mail, or Hotmail accounts, if you are actually trying to do some email marketing campaigns, the best option is to come up with your own custom domain name, all right, custom domain email. It actually forms a form of legitimacy that you actually own a company, that you actually own a legitimate website. It forms a form of it creates a form of authority when you actually send out your emails that see, we are talking business over here and it's nothing personal. You know, I'm not trying to send you a joke email. It's something which is serious, and please open up the email. It definitely helps in terms of the deliverability of your emails to your recipients' inboxes when you're using custom domain emails. All right, so an example of custom domain emails will be something like benjamingo@sayby925.com or benjamingojk@sayby925.com, or you can put down there as support@sayby925.com or service@sayby925.com. So these are all examples of custom domain emails. So how do you actually set it up? Very simple. On the main dashboard, all right, go over to the advanced tab here on the left, click on it. So you actually reach the main C panel. Okay, now don't be threatened by this word C panel. All right, it's just a series of what do you call it, icons that you can use. All right, so generally the ones that we use is actually email accounts, forwarders, and if you're actually doing your websites based on PHP files, or rather index files, I would say, this is the file manager that you'll be using. Right, so for laymen like us, right, don't really bother so much about all these things. I want address importer, box trapper, encryption. Honestly, I don't even know what the hell are these. All right, but I usually use this one, and this one, and this one is in fact very seldom used, very seldom used, because generally I use WordPress to create my website. Okay, so let's say you're going to create your own custom domain emails. Hit on email accounts here. Now immediately you will come up with this particular box. I already have this main two, custom domain emails. One is benjamingo@sayby925.com. which I believe some of you have actually received my email from this particular domain. The other one is support@ministryoffreedomevent.com, which if you are actually my webinar registrant, you have actually received my email from this particular domain as well. Okay, now how do you actually start creating one of your own? Now remember, you have actually come up with your own custom domain name. All right, so let's say for example, just now mine was benjamingojk.com, correct? So what happens is when you actually hit the create button, now the domain name is auto-populated over here. Okay, if I click down, you can see that these are the few different domain names that I have. So please select the one that you have. But if you are actually registering for just one one website, all right, which is the $395 per month for 36 months, you will just see this particular domain name here. Then the next thing is you can start customizing what is the email address username that you want to use here. Like let's say for example, support@sayby95.com, and put in your desired password over here. After it's done, hit the create button. Okay, create your new email account, and it's done. So straight away you already have a custom domain email address that you can use. Now, as for how do you actually check all the inbox emails, whether anybody replied to your email and stuff like that, of course you can log into Bluehost and check one by one, but what I would prefer to do is in fact hit the advanced button here again. Now we're going to talk about the forwarder options. Okay, now you see this forwarder icon over here, so click on forwarder. Alright, again you have all these domains, don't bother about that, just add a forwarder. Alright, so they will now ask you, okay, let's say for example just now we create this one called support@sayby95.com. Now you can forward to email address, like this is the one that I usually use, benjaminlimfreedom@gmail.com. Alright, then add forwarder. Done. It's as simple as that. Which means to say anybody who actually reply to this email, support@sayby95.com, all these emails will automatically be forwarded to the Gmail account that I usually use on a daily basis. Okay guys, so in order to these training videos will share with you guys already in terms of how you create your custom domain emails and how do you actually forward these emails to the one that you usually use. Okay, so I hope this video actually helped you guys to understand how to create your custom domain emails and as well as the forwarder option. So I'll see you guys in my next video then. Alright, so take care.